Hi, it's Seta here. Welcome to another speed design on the channel, but this time it won't be an ordinary speed design. But I will include my commentary on what I focus on while creating this scene. So let's get started. After adding the terrain and texture, I turned out that one of the layers didn't include the mask map, so I couldn't use it for texture blending. That's why I create such a mask map, and you can learn how to do that in the tutorial Terrain Layer Blending on the channel. Next, to check if the asset scale was correct, I used the basic capsule that is 2 meters tall, which perfectly represents the height of the player. Then I begin working on the first part of the scene. After building the fence, I decided it would be more interesting to change its layout a bit and create a side alley. It is worth paying attention to such things when creating, because sometimes such a small change can definitely make the level more attractive. Then, in the area created in this way, I placed large garbage, which, due to the fact there is a gate and arrow, could be easily taken away. And since we have old building here, I also add small details such as stone and bricks to make this location even more believable. Therefore, when creating your own scene, remember to place objects in the realistic way, because it increases the player immersion. Next, I want to create a fence around the stairs, but unfortunately there were no suitable models in this asset, so I used what I had to build it. Sometimes, by changing the scale, we can use one model to creating something completely different. When building the main part of the scene, I had 3 buildings in mind. 2 are ready, but the third, the smallest one, I had to create myself. Fortunately, this asset is modular, so I could easily create something like that. Therefore, when you're considering buying an asset, carefully check if it's modular, because thanks to this, you will be able to create much more than just what's in the package. When placing buildings, also check if the players will have access to windows to look into them. If so, remember to place some model in them as well, so that the player is not surprised by an empty room. When I'm building the scene in one model, I found a problem with the texture, but I was able to easily cover them with other models so that they were not visible. If your asset contains decals, sometimes it's good to use them, because like here, thanks to them, I could easily add streaks on destroyed buildings. After placing the buildings, I want to add some vegetation to the scene. That's why I placed the trees so that they didn't cover the main points on the scene. Since part of the terrain is higher and the player can look over the fence, I added a simple terrain around it, with a few trees, and the road leading to this place. It is worth paying attention so that the player doesn't see an empty space, and the whole scene, although small, looks like something bigger. Once the vegetation was ready, I started adding small details. This is something that is often forgotten, and adding such details builds the realism of the scene. The scene is ready, all that's left is add lighting and post-processing. From the beginning, I want the scene to be cloudy and melancholic. That's why when creating post-processing, I mainly focus on getting cold, gloomy colors and a cloudy sky. After adding post-processing, all that's left was add reflection prop and bake the scene. And that's almost everything in this video. If you like this form of speed design, don't forget to leave a thumbs up and subscribe the channel. However, if you would like to see exactly how this scene was created, in the next video you will be able to see it at normal speed. Now it's time for cinematic, and until next time, see ya!